So first off, I'm just going to show some information about the additional features that are in the eConsent framework that haven't been really mentioned entirely in other videos that we already have. So first off, I'm going to start with multi-language management actually, and it has the eConsent framework makes it very easy to have multiple languages in your study where you don't have to have multiple instruments or anything for your eConsent. I'll just go back to the designer to show you. I currently have just one eConsent or one ICF form and a couple of other additional forms. So we go to the eConsent. You need to, of course, enable your ICF or eConsent as a survey to begin with, and then you uh, enable it for eConsent itself. Um, we'll do just the quickly set up the first name, last name. I'm really not going to make any other changes except for I do want to upload the ICF, the completed ICF, to a field on one of those forms. We'll save those settings. And now we have this one ICF line, and we can add our consent forms for multi-language management. To go over there just to show you, I do have English and Spanish. They are active, and for the survey, it's enabled as a English as well as survey on Spanish. So we'll go back to our eConsent framework, which is available right here on your online designer. And I'll add a consent form. I'll give it a version number. Once a version has had anyone consent to it, you cannot reuse that version number for the same language and or DAG, which I'll get into on the next demo. So we will put the placement of the consent again in this text field, which is currently blank. We don't have any data access groups in this one. And then we will select English to start with. I will upload the consent form. Sorry, I had the wrong one open there. We'll go English, add a new consent form. So now that handles all the participants who choose English as their language. Now we can add another one. You can have the same consent form number on different languages. So we will say now this is the one when Spanish speakers choose Spanish for their language. We will upload the Spanish consent. And now it's all involved in just this one eConsent instrument. So it makes everything a lot cleaner. I'll give an example. We'll create a quick consent form here. Because it's the first instrument, you do have to do save and stay to be able to start the survey. So now we have our English or Spanish option, and you can see it changes here depending on which language you've chosen. And it's all the same instrument. It's very very convenient in that way. And then I will certify this as being complete. You can see, scroll down, you can see the signature and the information I entered. Submit it. Leave without saving changes. We'll go back here. And you can see that this is a completed English consent. So that's how simple it is to actually include multiple languages after you've set up your multi-language management in your eConsent framework. Any questions on that part?
I have a question, Carol.
Sure.
When you, for the Spanish part of
Yeah,
consent, when you certify it, will it show up in Spanish or English?
it sure will. I'll give you a quick example.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, that's actually a very good thing that I should have added to the demo. So we'll open the survey, and now I will say Spanish. And you see that I did not, this part could be translated. I just didn't do it. But
Right.
here, this is translated, and I did that myself using just Google Translate. That's not the method that you should use for any IRB approved document
Right.
projects. You should get that certified. Oh, I didn't change these names. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try it. Yes. So now all of the language on this
Yeah.
form,
Yeah.
and
See,
that's automatic.
okay. Okay. See, that's the part that I was wondering. I'm like, does that change to Spanish or will it stay for English? But
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yes. The multi-language management does have a lot of built-in Spanish translations for the pieces that are REDCap specific, like
Mhm.
this, because we
Right.
didn't write this. REDCap did that.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
they do have all of their, pretty much all of their UI,
Hmm.
user interface, translated
That
into.
looks beautiful. Thank you, Carol. That was it. That's all of my question. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. That was a
I
very
have
good question.
I have a question. Is there a way to make that English Spanish like switch like more obvious to subjects?
I actually don't know. What are you looking to do? Like make this bigger?
Yeah, maybe bigger or like just more obvious. Just we have a lot of patients who like are bilingual,
Right.
but but we've noticed a huge increase in patients who are bilingual. Their primary language, though, they still consider Spanish, and they still consented in English. And I wonder if making Spanish as a more obvious option for them would encourage them to choose the language that they
Right.
actually prefer.
Manny, do you have
I have
any
a,
thoughts?
I do. So we do have Christina a video on the MLM to go through it, but Carol, if you wouldn't mind just going to the MLM framework, please. There is a
Yeah.
language preference field, and you would just enable that as a radio option if their preference is English or Spanish. And then that could obviously be displayed in your survey, so that way if they select Spanish or English, then it'll default to that specific versus having at the top.
It's going very
Okay.
slow right now. It's just loading.
And we like I mentioned, we do have that in that MLM video that you can find on our YouTube page or at our website, CV2, the multi-language in depth. But you should be able to set that up. I know it's taking a bit for it to kind of load up, but once you go into the MLM framework, um, it should pop up as at the bottom.
Awesome. No, I'll definitely check it out. Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not
And
sure
then
why this is taking so long.
no, it's worries. I can check out the video on it. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, if
Okay.
And
you
then
and if you set if you create the field as like a radio button field, um, so it'll be one value is English, one is Spanish, then you can also go into your survey settings and do the enhanced radio buttons and checkboxes to make it a giant button instead of a little radio button, and that might be easier for them to see.
ooh, that's a good idea. Okay, awesome.
Carol, it's
Okay.
probably not opening up. I would just if you
Yeah, I've
close
got
out
it.
of this, just make sure that none of your other screens are in the MLM because if once you've opened it, it won't allow you to open up. Two
Yeah,
people
no,
can.
I don't have any other screens open, so um but that's all I was going to talk about with the MLM, so I'll go on to DAGs. So here's a separate project. Although they can be in the same project, I just made it separate to make it a little simpler to review. And what I have here is a project that has 2 DAGs set up. DAGs are data access groups, so that can separate different sites, so only certain people can see their own site information. And then there's also an option to have somebody not assigned to a site that can see everything. So currently I have Allison and George each in their own site. And there is a little bit of data already in this project. I can show you that Allison can only see her stuff. This is something that the admins have, and she's in Phoenix and she only can see her 2 records, where George is in Tucson and he can see only his 1 record. So what I want to show is how you set that up in the eConsent framework. It's very similar to setting up the MLM. You go to your online designer and then go to eConsent settings. And I'm going to just pretend like we now have a third data access group. We've added a new site and it's in New Mexico. So again, this is all on the same instrument. So we can add another consent form. We'll give it the version number. The consent text will end up in the same spot. And now we can add it to another DAG, except for I haven't added the DAG yet. So we'll go to the DAGs and we'll call it New Mexico. Add the group. I'm not even going to add anybody. Well, yes, I will. I will add Danielle to New Mexico. And then we'll go back to our designer and the eConsent framework. Once you have that DAG set up, then you can add the consent form for that DAG. New Mexico. And you go to the inline PDF, which is recommended by the U of A IRB. We'll choose our file. And we're going to pick the New Mexico ICF. Add the consent form. And now we have 3 different consent forms for the 3 different sites that is controlled by setting up a DAG for those users that are entering data. And so I can just show you that they are actually coming up different. I will open up an eConsent for Tucson. This consent form states Maine. I didn't have time to create actual separate ones, but this one says Maine, and that's for the Tucson group. When I open up record number 2, or the second record, it's not record number 2. And I open up the consent, this is going to call it version 2. So that's what Phoenix people are signing up with. And if now I pretend to be Danielle and I add a new record, you will see in the eConsent form that now we have, it says it's New Mexico, and I guess I did not change the file to make it look different. Sorry about that. Yes, I just verified this is what I uploaded, and it is main consent again. But the name is ICF-NM. So you can see that it is actually using different PDF forms for the different DAG sites. Hopefully I didn't go too quickly on that. Are there any questions with that?
If you have multiple sites and then you make it to where sites are only visible to certain staff members on there, would they still see that the subject number is already taken?
They will only see the subject numbers for their site. As you can see, this is 1, 1, 2, and 1. So the site, each site gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with their DAG number, which is this first initial 5-digit number.
Gotcha. So it gets like each site will start at 1
Yes.
and move on from there. Okay.
Yes. So you can see this DAG. Here's the DAG number, which is now.
Oh,
So that's what's being appended to your record number in the dashboard.
is there a way to adjust the DAG number to like?
No,
No.
that's under the covers in REDCap.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.